Brain Fart City today. Hey guys, it's Missy, RNY and Mile High. I am red-faced again because I was walking at lunch and it is warm. And again, I'm sorry to do an update in my car, but gotta do what I gotta do in order to keep up with it. I had gastric bypass or Roux-en-Y surgery on August 28th, 2017. My highest recorded weight was 244.2. On the day of surgery, I was 229.6. I apologize for being distracted. Our parking lot is the only, not the only, but one of the only free parking lots downtown in Colorado Springs. And for whatever reason, tons of people park here. It's a lot of assistant district attorneys and their staff and whatever else, and then people going to court. Court's like 3 blocks away. But because it's free, they park in our parking lot. And so when I get a good spot, a lot of the time at lunch, I sit in my car and either catch up on YouTube videos or record my own update or talk to friends on the phone or, you know, whatever. So I brought my lunch out here today and I've been eating my lunch and I was going to do my update video. But people this one particular car keeps circling like they think I'm going to leave. And I'm not. But it gets frustrating because if I get here even right at 8 o'clock or even a couple of minutes after, the parking lot is full and I have to park behind our building, which isn't our parking lot. It's actually the Arby's parking lot. Luckily, they're very kind and don't seem to mind. So, anyway, a little rant of mine there where it's like, you can keep circling, but I'm not giving up my space. So, anyway, my highest recorded weight was 244.2. The day of surgery, I was 229.6. Last week, I came to you at 176.4. And then this week, I weighed in at 177. So, a gain of 0.6. Not super concerned about it. I mean, I would, of course, much rather lose. It was kind of an interesting couple of days. You know, I was getting over being sick. I had a lot of stuff going on. My goal to get more sleep did not happen. I had a pretty good meltdown over some schoolwork this past weekend. It was mainly just an error in a system, but it was frustrating, and so I was stressed out, and I didn't eat because of being stressed. I actually have the opposite problem. When I get stressed out, I don't eat. I don't overeat. I don't eat. But typically afterwards, then I will find myself wanting to eat. So that's been an interesting thing. My weakness is chips and salsa. Do you see the car? My weakness is chips and salsa. And there are times when I will just go, and I can't really binge eat on it because I don't have enough room. And I'm doing a lot better about listening to my body and getting stuff in versus eating too much. I'm eating a lot slower. I'm doing a lot better, so I feel like next week should be a good loss. And if it isn't, it isn't. We'll figure it out. But I'm not super concerned about it. As you can see, I chopped my hair off. It's been falling out a lot. It was just time the ends were getting all gross, and I told you I was going to do it last week. And this is typically how short I had my hair for a long time prior to having my son. And then when I got uncomfortable with my body and felt bigger, too big to be having short hair, which I don't understand, it's not really a thing, but when I felt that way, then I let my hair grow long, and I kind of was hiding behind it. So I'm not doing that anymore, which is good. I really, really like it. It's kind of a mom cut, but I don't really care. I'm a mom, so it kind of works out. But I really enjoy it. I've shocked several people because it was, you know, midway down. It was more than halfway down my back. So everybody is like, oh my gosh. And it's kind of a shock to them, but people that know me and know that this is how I used to wear my hair are like, oh my goodness, it's like having you back. You're your old self again. So that's kind of cool. I don't really have a ton of update for you this week. Other than, you know, I had a slight gain. I've been walking. I've been doing everything that I've been trying to do. I've not been tracking as well this week what I've been eating, which is sometimes a problem. For the most part, I track pretty well. But like I said, there were some different circumstances this weekend and this past week that it was just, the day got away from me. I always bring my lunch to work. I have this really cute, it's like a, I don't know, it's a cute little lunch box, and it has the different compartments in it, and you can see what I have today. It has like different compartments. So I have zucchini and onion veggies, and then pork, fajita stuff. So anyway, it has the different compartments, and I've already eaten my lunch, and you can see there's a lot left. There are days when I just can't eat very much, and I'm actually starting to wonder, I need to go back and start looking at my tracking and see if I'm actually getting enough food. Because there are days that I wonder, my restriction, especially lately, has been really tight. I will go, for instance, we go to Fuzzy's, and it's a taco shop here in town. I don't know if you guys have Fuzzy's, but I get a grilled shrimp taco. That's my favorite. They're small little street tacos made with tortillas like this size. And I will get a grilled shrimp taco, and I like it a ton. It's my favorite. It has like feta and a garlic sauce and lettuce and tomato and all that good stuff, and it's really, really good. It's my favorite. I can typically, now that I'm this far out, eat one. Every once in a while I can't eat all of it, but for the most part I can eat one. Well, we went the other day and I didn't even get 3/4 of it in. So I'm doing a lot better about listening to my body instead of making myself sick, because I've been finding that I have a pretty bad case of dumping syndrome, regardless of what it is, if I just eat too much, which is fine. That's, you know, it's the tool. I'm using the tool that I should. So I'm doing a good job about listening to my body more, which is good. But like I said, chips and salsa are my weakness. So every once in a while we'll get those. I just don't keep them in the house. I know better. But so that's been my biggest hurdle, is wanting chips and salsa. And again, I probably eat 5 chips at a time, and that's it. So it's not like a huge deal, but when you're trying not to snack and do too much of that kind of stuff, it can really derail you. So I'm doing a good job to try not to do that. So my used to be my weakness. Oh, here's another kind of non-scale victory. I guess you could consider it that. I used to love Oreos. I've always been good about limiting myself. I would limit myself to 2 at a time, but sometimes I would do that 2 or 3 times a day. So we, for some reason the other day, had Oreos in the house, and I tried one, and it made me feel so sick. I don't even want them anymore, which is fine. That's good. That's what I wanted. So I found stuff like that has been pretty interesting. We've had, you know, every once in a while I'll try something. I'll try a dessert, I'll try something, and it just does not agree with me, so I don't even want it anymore, which is good. So I'm doing much better with that kind of stuff. I'm working on fluids, always. It's funny because I was watching another channel. I don't know if you guys watch Mini Me in Tennessee, but I love her. Her name is Lisa, and she's awesome. And I was watching from several videos ago. I don't remember why. I had gone back to look something like, how did she deal with this? I remember her talking about this. And so I was watching one of her videos, and I don't remember if it was the question and answer video, or I don't remember what it was. But anyway, she was talking about, somebody had asked her about getting in her fluids and what she could do, and she said, you know, at the beginning, you hear about it, and you know, we've all done the research, we've all watched videos. That's why you're here. You're watching videos to see what other people have gone through and how other people have dealt with stuff. And it's one of those things that you can't understand until you experience it. Because I remember watching videos, and and she said the same thing, watching videos and being like, it's not that hard to get fluids in. Like, why are people having such trouble? Oh my gosh. I feel like, first of all, I believe that God has a sense of humor, and I feel like you say stuff and he's like, oh, really? Oh, okay, yeah. And then he gives you that problem. Or he, you know, does stuff like that to make you more aware. I feel like That's just one of my opinions. And it's, it's not very biblical or whatever, but it's just one of those things where I feel like God is like, really? Okay, here you can experience it too. So I have that issue getting my fluids in if I don't track it. One of the things that I have found to be extremely helpful, which is not going to help very many people if you're not into this and if you're not willing to spend the money, but I have an Apple Watch. So I set on my Veritastic app, I set all of these reminders. I set reminders to drink water every half hour just so that I get a bump on the wrist, and every half hour I remember to take several sips of water at a time. I have a reminder for my protein shake in the morning. I have a reminder for all of my vitamins. In fact, my drink water reminder just popped up. So I have all of these reminders on my Veritastic app, and it just bumps me on the wrist, and I look, and I can dismiss it. So if you're going to ignore it, it's one of those things. It's kind of one of those things. You can either choose to ignore it or you can choose to listen to it. My phone alarm isn't going off at work and bothering people. And if I'm with a client and it bumps me on the wrist, I can ignore it. So, and then typically if I've ignored it, then I'll go back, because you can pull it down on the menu and it'll show you your notifications that you've ignored. And I will go in and drink some water, or I'll go in and drink. I do a lot of iced tea. It's not sweet. I don't like sweet tea anymore. I every once in a while will sweeten it with a sweetener like stevia, or every once in a while sweet and low, but most time it's just unsweet tea. So I do a lot of that for my fluids as well. So that's one of the ways that I have found to try and get certain things in. The supplements, I'm still having trouble getting all of my supplements in. And that's just because I think I've told you I have a Tespo dispenser, and I'll show you guys a video of it at the end of this video. And it is like a Keurig for vitamins. So they're all liquids. They are designed excuse me. The type of pods that I have are designed for bariatric patients. So they have a women's bariatric and a men's bariatric version. And then they have the hair, skin, and nails, and they have that kind of stuff. So they have a women's complete, it's like a multivitamin, and then they have the bariatric vitamins. So they're separate. I think that I need to get a Tespo dispenser at work. I think that would help me get all of my vitamins in for the day. And I do have the little sleeves of vitamins that have like the 4 times a day for each day of the week. I do have those. And so if I'm gonna do, let's say I'm gonna do my calcium during the day and not do the liquid, then I can just pop that into those. I don't have one with me, or I would show you, but it's in the office. So those are kind of the things that I still struggle with, is fluids. There are days when I just don't want protein, and I don't know why. And it's not like protein like meat. I have no problem eating meat. I've always been a good, chicken, lean beef, turkey, fish. I love fish. I've always been a good protein eater. I need to get a protein drink in, because I can't eat enough protein in the day still. Which I think is, I don't know if that's weird for being this far out or not. This is 20 weeks, so almost 5 months. And I don't know if that's, I don't know if that's weird or not being able to eat that much. I find that I'm being able to eat less and less again. So I don't know if there's something wrong. I don't really think so. It doesn't feel like anything is wrong. I don't feel like I'm in pain or anything like that. There's just something going on. I don't know what it is. I'm able to eat less and less, which is fine. I'm not super concerned about it. I feel good. I do want to make sure I'm getting my supplements better, but other than that, I don't know. It's just the way that things are going right now. So we went shopping this weekend for my boys. Both needed clothes. My son and my husband needed clothes. So we went shopping for my son, got him some clothes. He's so funny. He got a fedora, a hat. The fedora. He loves them. I don't know why, but whatever. So he wanted a hat. So we got him this hat. Well, one of the things that we did was a kind of a fun day to reward him. He's been really good in school, and we've had really a whole lot better time at home. He and my husband fight, or did fight a lot, and they're doing a lot better. So they're both kind of doing counseling and doing a lot better with that. It's hard for me because I think I've told you guys before, I end up in the middle, and it's not very comfortable for me. I don't like to referee, and I'm a peacemaker, and I just don't like the fighting. So they've been doing a lot better, and we decided we wanted to have a fun day with him. So we went shopping for clothes, we went out for lunch, and we went to see The Last Jedi again, because we went a couple weeks ago, and he just really wanted to see it again in the theater. So we went to see it again. We went to a different theater this time. They had the nice reclining seats, but for whatever reason, the cushion at the top is right where it just puts my head down, so I spent the whole movie like this, and I don't like that at all. But it was fine. We had a good time, but he took his hat off in the movie theater and left it. So we get all the way home, and he starts screaming in the back seat. We're like, what? What is happening? And he's like, I left my hat. And he freaked out. So my husband, we were going through the drive-thru getting some supper, and my husband called, so I'm sitting in the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. Like, what do you want to eat? My husband's on the phone with the movie theater. He just spits out something that he wants to eat, and I order what I think he said. I don't even know if I got him the right thing now at this point. Order what I think he wanted. Order for my son. I usually get the grilled nuggets kids meal, if that's one of the places I can go and get something to eat that's fast food. I get the 4-piece grilled chicken nuggets and then the fruit cup, and it's really good. It's just the right amount of food. Most of the time I can eat it all. Sometimes I have some fruit left, but it works out. So I tried that. I think this is like the 3rd time I've had that since my surgery. So we got that, and I was driving. I just said, well, I'll just go drive back to the movie theater. The movie theater is like 30 minutes away, that particular theater. It was close to where we were shopping, so it was convenient for that time, and then we just headed home, but we were almost all the way home. So I go to the movie theater, they find the hat, everything's hunky-dory. I don't have a crying child anymore, but it was ridiculous. So last year, this time we went to Maui. On our way to Maui, my son has a Nintendo 3DS, and that's what kept him entertained on the plane on the way to Maui. Well, at one point, my husband and I were watching a movie, and he wanted to watch with us. So he put his 3DS into the case and put it next to him in the seat, and it fell. It fell on the floorboard, and by the time we got to Honolulu, and he was so excited to get on the next plane to get to Maui, he left his 3DS on the plane. It was traumatic. He didn't realize until we were in the hotel in Maui that night. And then he freaked out. I left my... So we tried everything. I called the airline. I called both airlines. The one that we connected on and the one that we got to Honolulu. I called both of their airlines. I called both airports. I called all over. I put in 2 separate requests for lost and found, and nobody ever turned it in. So somebody ended up with a 3DS and 7 games on our trip last year, and so that was traumatic. So it was the same sound. He made the same sound when he discovered he'd left his hat. It was like a $12 hat. And I was like, oh my goodness. But to me, it was important to go and get the hat for him because he did have such a traumatic experience losing his 3DS. And it did get replaced, but it took another year. He didn't get another one until Christmas. So it was traumatic for him, and the hat thing was traumatic. And I don't know why I'm telling you that story, but it was what, it is what it is. It was funny. So we get home, and he's just fine. And I think I told you guys we're doing HelloFresh, and so our HelloFresh box was there. So I was able to put everything away for that for the next day. So it was a good time. We had a really good time. I did have some popcorn at the movie theater, probably like not even a handful, but just a little bit. So I've got to be careful about that kind of stuff. I don't want to be snacking and having stuff that I shouldn't, but it's one of those things. You have to pick your battles. You got to pick your battles and pick and choose what you want. Do you want to have a few pieces of popcorn in the movie with your family? For me, it was worth it that day. So it just depends. I'm having so many good non-scale victories in terms of losing inches and being able to walk and exercise and having fun with that every once in a while it's worth it to me to have, a handful of popcorn here or there. So that's me. That's me trying to tell you about all my silly stories and all that good stuff. But we did go shopping and we did get the boys some clothes, so they're happy. And eventually I'll have to get some clothes too, but I'm good for right now. So I love you all. I appreciate all of your support and for sticking with me. I'm going to do my 5-month update today is January 17th, by the way. I'm going to do my 5-month update probably on the 28th, because that's my exactly 5 months, right? September. Yeah, exactly 5 months. So I will do that. And yeah, that's gonna happen soon. So I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will talk to you later.